So welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the Mexican sunflower, which is this beautiful flower here. Look at that fiery orangish red. Now, the thing about this plant, I've always had my eye on it. And I was walking around the estate and suddenly I saw little seedlings of it. And so I asked them if I could have it. And so she gave me only one seedling. Now, what I've discovered is that as this Mexican sunflower grows, is that it's so easy to propagate from seeds. So I have a few that I've done, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. Now, the thing about the Mexican sunflower, it actually isn't a sunflower, but they call it like that, and they also call it the tree marigold. Now, the thing is that it is really fast growing, and this is this height, and it's been here for maybe about three weeks, but it can grow up to 6-8 feet tall. Now, the beauty about this plant, apart from the leaves, is the color. So basically you have this color, which is an orangish, and you do have a yellow one, which is a bit invasive, but we'll talk about that another time. And then you do get an orange color. So all these colors actually is amazing. Now, the thing is that with the Mexican sunflower, it's ideal for a beginner, gardener beginner, because it's so easy to propagate through seeds, and also for those people who want to have color in their garden. Now, my problem here is I don't have that much color. So when I did discover this plant, look how it's brightened up this corner, and actually I'm going to have it all along my garden edge here, so that as I sit up there, I can just see orange. Now, the thing about this plant, again, is like it is a sort of daisy. It has these daisy-like blooms. Now, the beautiful thing is that for pollinators, because everything is more or less flat, is pollinators, it's easy for them to come in and collect all the pollen, and also the butterflies just love it, and the hummingbirds. So occasionally as I'm sitting, I suddenly see a butterfly sort of fluttering around, and it always ends up on this. So they're great pollinators. Now, the soil, what sort of soil does it want? But basically a well-draining soil like most plants. But again, it can actually grow in a very poor quality soil. It can grow on rocks as it does in its native home in Mexico. So it actually is a non-fussy plant, and that's why it's really great for beginners. Now, what does it want is that it just loves full sun, and the more sun it receives, the more blooms it will receive. So don't plant it in shade, because it will get attacked by pests such as mealybugs and aphids. But once it's out here and it does get full sun during the day, you'll get so many blooms, you'll be so happy. So water, what is it about water? I mean, to start off with, when I did sort of start propagating it through seed, I was actually quite worried. But then suddenly I'm walking along and I see all these pop-ups, because basically it is drought resistant. And so don't worry about it. It takes care of itself. Now, the thing about the Mexican sunflower is that sometimes you will get two blooming seasons. So basically you will get one in the middle of summer or one at the end just before the fall. But what a beautiful flower that you can have it in summer in your garden, and you just look at those vibrant colors. I would go for it. So again, if you want to increase your blooms, all you need to do is deadhead it, and I'll show you exactly where you need to snip with these spent flowers so that you can increase your blooms. Now, this is a really good example what happens, how to increase your bloom. So if we can have a close look here, is where I would have snipped here would have been this stalk here, this stalk. But you see, once you snip this stalk, you get two baby shoots appearing on both sides, and that's where your blooms are going to happen. So you get an extra 2 blooms. So basically when you are removing the spent, you're going to the center of it here and removing that bit so you can get 2 extra blooms. So let me show you, because I have my other Mexican sunflower here, which I didn't bother to remove the spent flowers because I wanted to get it dried up so we can see the seeds. So come with me. So basically here, as we know, is I snip off a spent flower. I will take it from here. I'm removing this spent flower. So this is your spent flower. Now what I'm going to do is I would put it out in the sun so it completely dries out. So all these little petals will fall out. And then what you get in the end is this sort of look. This is already dried. As it dries, what I would do is I just try to empty. These are the seeds, these rectangular pieces. These are the seeds, and they do fall out quite easily. So once you've collected your seed, what you need to do with the seeds is I just scatter them, because basically the seed will sit on top of the soil, but it needs the sun to germinate. So you don't have to sort of dig up and cover it. It'll take a life of its own because it does need that sun to germinate on top of the soil, and it will pick up and you'll end up with all these babies. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these seeds and I'm just going to scatter them around. The thing about the Mexican sunflower, they're great as fillers because they do fill out. And I feel that patch is a bit sort of empty. So I'm just going to come here and also scatter. We just removed some plants from here, but I'm going to just scatter them here and we'll see which ones take off, and it'll be lovely. Now the thing about the Mexican sunflower, it doesn't survive winter because also it's very flimsy and it doesn't survive. But what you could do is once you get into the fall, you start collecting your seeds. And then 6 weeks before the end of the last frost, get your seeds out and you can either start sowing them in a germination vessel, or you wait and you start to scatter, then you will get your 2 blooming seasons. So fellow gardeners, thank you for joining me. I hope you also like the Mexican sunflower. Do look for it because it does add that color into your garden. And don't forget to like, to share, subscribe to our channel, invite people to join. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We're always posting our new flowers, new arrangements. And have a lovely, lovely evening and introduce color this summer into your garden. Thank you very much. Bye.